I have been a coach 11 and a half, almost 12 years. 12 years this June. So that's why there's very little you can ask me that you think that you're going through, that is happening to you, that you're challenged with, that I haven't seen, done, experienced either myself or on my team. So I have a lot to share, I think, in that regard. But I was a fitness instructor first, master trainer for Shalene Johnson. Anyone familiar with? Okay. Turbo, Pio, all that kind of stuff. And as she got involved with Beachbody with Turbo Jam, I got involved with Beachbody in the coaching opportunity. But before that, I was a high school English teacher. I grew up in a teeny tiny little town in the Midwest where there were zero female entrepreneurs, females doing anything other than what would be most likely the traditional roles, teacher, whatever it might be in a small town. And when I say small town, I literally had a cornfield in my backyard. My high school was about 300, so teeny tiny. And I took the real traditional route, went to college, became a high school teacher, got married, started having children. We moved a lot because my husband is a Division I college football coach. And one of our moves, because they were pretty quick in succession, we ended up in Wisconsin. And when we ended up in Wisconsin, I was pregnant with the third, and we joined the YMCA, and I started taking fitness classes. I was always the girl who really couldn't sit still, but I'd never lived in a place where I could really take fitness classes. And I had started taking some fitness classes, and 2 or 3 months into that, I was sitting on a blue bench in the YMCA in Waukesha, Wisconsin, when the fitness director sat down next to me and said, "I've seen you in class. I think you should be teaching. I'd like you to start next month." One conversation. One. And she didn't overthink it. When she sat down next to me, kind of like we were sitting right here, it was probably a couple sentences. "I've seen you teaching. I'd like you to start next month." Da, da, da. She didn't overthink it. She didn't know she just changed my life. I didn't know my life changed, but it took one conversation that changed the entire course of the rest of my life. I say that to you because you have the power to do that every single day. You have the power to do that every single day. Do you understand that? Do you own that? And do you embrace that? It is one conversation. Had I said no, she would not have run screaming out the door and said, "I am terrible. I must never be a group fitness, trainer ever again." She would have said, "All right, cool. I'm going to ask someone else." And she would have gone on and had that simple conversation with someone else. So when someone says no to you, please don't run screaming out the door and think that you should quit coaching. Go on and have the simple conversation with someone else. And those tiny little small events, we don't often know that they're going to change our life, and then they do. And it did. And that one conversation changed my life. That's how I found fitness. That's how I became a master trainer. That's how I fell into coaching. I had no idea what I was doing. As I said, no one was an entrepreneur. No one was a business owner in my family. I had no idea what to do. I've just figured it out along the way. That's it. That's what we do. It's kind of like marriage. Did you know how to be married before you were married?
I'm still learning. I'm not even...
So am I, and I'm 26 years into it. We're still figuring it out along the way, and somehow we still figure it out. Did you know how to be a parent before you were a parent? And somehow all 3 of my children are still alive. One of them is here. They actually enjoy my company sometimes. Here we are. We just figured it out along the way. Why would coaching be any different? I just figure it out. And sometimes I don't figure it out. And then I got to figure it out again a different way. And that's just life. That's why coaching's so amazing, because it truly does parallel everything else in life. Sometimes we put it in this little box like it's this thing that we're supposed to know everything about. And I usually share this with my coaches when I feel that mindset coming on. So my husband is a college football coach. Played in high school, played in middle school, played in high school, played in college. When he left college, he became a graduate assistant coach and went right into coaching. He's done nothing except learn how to and get better at coaching college football. But when he goes to work every day, he goes to work and has a staff of however many he has a staff of. Now, one would think someone who's been doing something all those years would know everything there is to know and could make all the decisions on their own, and yet every single day he goes to his office and has a staff that helps him make decisions because he knows he doesn't know everything there is to know. He never will, and then he's stronger when he has a staff. So why would we ever think we need to know everything there is to know about coaching when we start or anytime? Because I can tell you 11 and a half years in, I still haven't read the policies and procedures, all of them, nor do I know the compensation plan very well, and yet I still manage to be here every single day. So when you're trying to, figure stuff out, just know you might not win the championship, you might not win the conference title every year. Never, ever take yourself off the field. Just stay in the game, and you'll figure it out. The only way you fail at this business is by doing nothing. Forward is a pace. Complacency, excuses, and BS stories, not a pace. That's just an ordinary life. No one signed up to be a coach to live an ordinary life. And I had no idea what I was doing. So if this small town girl with a cornfield in her backyard, who grew up, was a high school English teacher, fell into fitness, became a coach, has figured it out, and somehow, I don't know, has built a 10-time elite team, a multi-million-dollar business on $39.95. Anyone can do this.
I'm done. That was pretty good. I've done a lot of events with her. She was pretty fired up. She didn't stand up yet, but we're gonna. No, it's good. Save some of that energy. We got more paternal punch and go-go juice, whatever everyone else calls it. So, okay. So here's the question. Kind of goes into that. You talked about your story, how you got into this, your family, and what's driven you. But I thought this was a unique question. Someone asked, kind of just quickly share your story as far as seeing success early in the business. Like, was it slow? Was it quick? What did you do to see success?
None. Zero. I did nothing with this business for 8 months. Sat in my lap for 8 months, had no idea what I was doing, did nothing with it. It took us, because I know there's another question on this, it took us 7 years to become a Superstar Diamond team. Forward is a pace. There is no time limit on your dreams. 7 years. It took us to become a Superstar Diamond team. Do you know when it happened? On April 15th, 2015, we became a 15-star Diamond team. Do you think that was coincidence? No, it was not. That's when we were supposed to. That's how long our journey was supposed to take. We don't drop it. We just don't. It took us that long because then we just sit there and hold it. It's just what we do. But it took us 7 years. I would rather take my time and figure it out along the way than jump out of the gate and then be scrambling. Forward is a pace. Sitting still, let me repeat, complacency, excuses, and BS stories you tell yourself, not a pace. Moving forward is a pace. Your timeline is your timeline. Your goals are your goals. There's no timeline on achieving your goals. There is a timeline on doing nothing. That's achieving nothing. I'd rather go too far. I'd so much rather be called too much than not enough. Take your time, but keep moving forward. It's not anybody else's timeline. It's yours. Nobody else is paying your bills but you. Nobody else gets a say in your goals and dreams but you. It took us 7 years, but we're still there, and I'm good with that.
I told you they like to woo. So let me follow that up. So 7 years to get to Superstar Diamond, which, most of us know what that means. That's essentially helping 15 people get to Diamond, probably more than that, which means they've helped a ton of people in their challenge groups be successful. There's more to it than that, but you get it. So along those lines, someone asked, okay, along the journey, what have you done to avoid burnout and, failure? Like, how do you overcome that?
So first of all,
you can stand up.
So first of all,
right.
First of all, I feel like I need to come down here. First of all, there is no such thing as failure. There's only just not doing anything. Period. Because everything you're doing, you're learning to get better. That's called evolution as a human being. We don't get our parenting right all the time, But it's not really that we failed, we're just learning so we can do it better the next time. So there's no real failure in the business, there's just learning so we can do it better the next time. That's the business, that's in the business. My husband doesn't get it right all the time. He calls plays that don't work. He just continues to learn. So this is the same. I just don't, this is the oddest thing that question was on there, because I heard Carl talk about it on the National Wake Up Call too. Like, I just don't get burned out. Because are you kidding me? We have the chance to change lives every single day? What in the, okay, you're telling me that I could sit in my pajamas, should I choose to do so, after I worked out and drank some Energize, and connect with people all over the world on my laptop, creating income that changes my family's life, and I'm gonna get burned out on that? Are you, what? What is to possibly get burned out? And just at the time when you're like, oh, maybe I'm starting to get burned out, okay, now we have Bar Blend. And then we have 10 rounds, and then praise. We've got Dallas coming out with an outside program that I think we've needed forever. And then there'll be something else, and then there'll be a new flavor. And then, are you kidding me? You're gonna get burned out on changing lives, including your family's life. I can't even with that. And neither should you. Can you get, I don't know, tired of doing some of the same unsexy, unglamorous stuff over and over again? Yeah. Like, do you like to do laundry over and over again?
No.
No. Do you do it?
Yes.
Yes. Do you like to unload the dishwasher? I hate unloading the dishwasher so much. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I don't know why. It's the dumbest task, isn't it? I hate it. It's so unsexy, so unglamorous. I hate it. But do we do it? Yes. Sometimes do you dislike picking up a personal development book? Sometimes. That's why we fight it so much. It's always the one people fight the most. Should you do it? Yeah, it's the game changer. I mean, if you just don't do laundry because you're bored of it, what's gonna happen in your house? You know? So sometimes you just kind of acknowledge, yeah, I'm kind of tired of reading maybe the personal development, just a little bit. Okay, I'm acknowledging it, and then I'm choosing to do it anyway. I'm just choosing to do it anyway. I just don't understand people who aren't fired up about this business when you really think about what we get to do every day, which is change our life and change others' lives and create income that then changes our family's life. There's just nothing to not be fired up about. There's just nothing. And if you feel like you aren't, make a different choice. Choose. Because that's what it comes down to. Just choose. Choose to get fired up. Put some music on and choose. Drink some Energize and choose. So I don't really get burnt out. I have hills and valleys because we're human, but I don't really get burnt out. I mean, I wouldn't be here 11 and a half years later, yeah? I mean, no one does that. You can't fake it this long. I couldn't fake that I liked it for this long. I'm not that good of an actress. I couldn't fake it. I have to actually really like it. You should feel the same. You don't have to be as vocal or maybe as passionate or whatever as someone else, but you should feel it in your bones that what you do makes a difference. You have to feel it in your bones. And when you do, how can you get burnt out? Ever. There's too much to share and to invite to and to do and to create and change. And we get to create legacy and change lives every single day.
So I wish you guys had the same viewpoint that I have, because normally when people get really passionate or excited about something, you know that vein that sticks out on the forehead, right? Starts pulsating a little bit. When Julie gets passionate, like her tricep up here is just like flipping out. Just saying, well done, you've got some great results. So this wasn't gonna be the question I was gonna-
at-home workout program for you.
Body gospel, I'm telling you. So I was gonna ask this question, but you talked about personal development books and stuff, so I'm just gonna ask this one real quick. Favorite PD book right now?
Right now, it's the Bob Iger book, Ride of a Lifetime. I'm obsessed with it. That and Super Attractor by Gabby Bernstein. Bob Iger, Ride of a Lifetime. Bob Iger, Ride of a Lifetime, he's the CEO of Disney. Now, you don't have to be a Disney fan to like it, but he tells his story of leadership through stories. So he's sharing the stories of his life in all the different jobs that he's had and how he got to be the CEO of Disney, but he's doing it through stories, which ties right into what you just shared. So which I think is what makes it connect with me so much, because he's sharing the stories, and then there'll be this little leadership lesson, and there's this little leadership lesson all wrapped up in these stories. But it's a phenomenal book. I've read it several times and listened to the audio. I highly, highly recommend it. And then Super Attractor by Gabby Bernstein, I'm also obsessed with right now. I'm doing her 21-day manifesting challenge. Is anyone else doing that? If not, you should look it up on her website. That's what I'm loving right now. But personal development is, at its core, as it says, personal. And there are billions of books in the world. So if you pick up something and it's not resonating with you, so let's take Girl Wash Your Face, for example. It was the rage, it's the buzz. It's a great book, but if you picked it up and it didn't resonate with you, please feel no pressure to read that book just because it feels like everybody else is reading it. As Gabby Bernstein says, I think in Super Attractor, you read it when you need it. So if you pick something up and it doesn't connect with you, put it down and go to the other 7 billion books that are in the world and find something else. You will read what you need when you need to read it. But you have to be reading, and you have to be self-aware to know that. So you have to be reading, and you can't just be reading the same. You can't be reading the slight edge over and over and over again. You know the slight edge, okay? We all know what the slight edge is. You've got to expand into other stuff, be willing to try some other stuff. But if it doesn't resonate with you, put it down and find something else. There are too many amazing books out there, and just because everyone's reading it doesn't mean you have to. Give it a try, but if it doesn't, find something else. I've read, in the past few months, there are 4 books that really impacted me. Marie Forleo's book, Everything is Figureoutable. Woo! I like her a lot. Bo Eason's book, There's No Plan B for your A game. Yes, Plan B for your A game, that one. Bob Iger and Gabby Bernstein's Super Attractor. Those 4 I've just kind of devoured in the last 3 months and gone back and listened to them over and over again. And then I discovered on YouTube that if you type in their names, you can find interviews with them. Like, I didn't know the world of YouTube exists or something. I don't know. That's what my children have been doing this whole time. So then I typed in Bob Iger interviews, and now there's this amazing interview with him and Oprah Winfrey, and there's just so much stuff out there. So you can find stuff. You got to put a little effort into it. But just don't read it just because everybody else is. Find what's connecting with you, what you need at that moment.
That's really good. So what was the Gabby Bernstein book again?
Super Attractor.
Super Attractor. Because the only Bernstein that I read is Bernstein Bears with my kids. So I want to make sure I got that. So I'm going to follow up. So you're obviously successful. You got a lot going on. You're a mom. You're a wife. Fitness trainer, coach, entrepreneur, all that. And I know people here are busy. I'm busy, right? We're parents, we're spouses. Everybody's busy. So what are some ways that you've found to successfully prioritize your time to see growth and momentum within your team and your business?
Well, first of all, don't be trying to win the busy game. Everybody's busy, okay? You're not busier than everybody else, except the woman here who has 5 children. You might be busier than a lot of people. Yeah, that's a lot of children. That's 2 more than I have, and I can think about what my life, wow, that's a lot. So that's number 1. Don't try to win the busy game. Everyone is busy in their own way, and everyone's barometer of busy is different. Number 2, I find the morning routine extremely crucial. You have to get up before your children get up, period. I don't care if that's 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever. You have to, if you get up, when your children get up, you're behind the 8 ball. Now, if you have a newborn, you're just trying to find sleep whenever you can. But once your kids are on that schedule, if your kids are getting up at 6:30, you've got to be getting up at 5 or 5:30. It just is what it is. It's a season. So don't be like, oh no, I want to sleep. You could sleep when they're all gone. And that's when your house is quiet and you wish they were back, okay? Take it from me. I am an empty nester this year as of last August, and it was a very weird transition for me. I don't like the term empty nest because that implies there's no one in the nest. I'm in the nest, and so is my husband, and so are our dogs. I like mom in transition. That's what I am. I'm a mom in transition. So number 2 is you must have a morning routine. You must have a morning routine. That is crucial to time management. Number 3, you have to work in the pockets of time that you have, and you have to be embracing of and accepting of the season of life that you're in. So for example, let's talk about Kelsey Hill, is that right? Who's the number 10 coach. Okay, she's super young, and she also has no children right now. So if I compared my life last year, even before the girls all went to college, to Kelsey, I would feel defeated all the time if I was comparing my life to someone who's like 23 years old with no children. The demands on her time are so completely different than mine. It wouldn't make sense. That is the season of life she's in. This is a season of life that I am in. So you have to embrace and acknowledge the season of life that you're in, and then do what you can in the season of life that you're in. And know that 6 months, a year from now, the season of life that you're in will be different. And you will do what you can with that season of life. But I also recommend getting rid of some of the fluff. Like, I know that people like The Bachelor, and it's okay to watch some TV. Hi, I love Disney Plus. My name's Julie, I'm a Disney Plus addict. Okay, it's okay. But I'm not going to watch Disney Plus at the expense of my business, because Disney Plus is not sending my girls to college. So there's some give and take that has to happen to accomplish the goals that I want to accomplish. I don't know if that answers it, but
I think it did.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a few more minutes. We'll get you with a few more questions, including one for your daughter who's over there. She's like, she doesn't have a question.
She would rather fall in a hole and die than get on this microphone.
But check out her sweatshirt she got. She's been
We
practicing
go
that
by
all
the
day.
bookstore today, and now she's all of a sudden like a Utah fan. So we go to see the football stadium to FaceTime my husband to be, show the football stadium, and we go to the bookstore, and all of a sudden she's like, "Yeah, I know the sign." I'm like, "What are you singing, the alma mater? What's happening here? You go to school in New York City. We don't go to Utah."
You're cheering for the right team.
Now she's cheering for the Utes.
All right. We won't get into that. That's treacherous waters here in Utah, so we're not gonna go. Thank you. See, I told you. Okay, back to the questions. Go Jazz! We're all united in that spread. Utah. All right. No one cheers.
You
for
just
the
don't cheer
Jazz.
for Butler Bulldogs. It'll be fine, all right?
Yeah, everyone
Butler
cheer for
Bulldogs.
Butler.
Go Dogs.
Support her husband's
That's
football
right.
team.
That's right.
All right. So this was a question. Literally, she slugged me in the ribs when she saw this one in the back. So I'm going to ask her this. Yeah,
Was
she
I right about?
got a little excited about it.
Okay.
So, what advice do you have for older age coaches just getting started building? My warm market is exhausted, and I'm having trouble finding.
BS right there. Stop.
Okay, I'll stop.
That's BS right there. Your warm market is exhausted? Really? Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. And Jeff knows, I'm very much team. So I don't like to talk about, if I talk on someone's team call and they're like, what are your things? I'm like, I'm a wife, a mom, and a coach. Nobody cares about any of the other stuff. But I'm gonna tell you this. Shakeology came out in March, whatever year it was. Almost 10 years ago, yeah? 9 3/4. March. I hit Success Club that March. I didn't hit it in April, probably because I know what I was doing. I was still figuring it out, all right? Plus, it tasted like crap then. It just did. I mean, come on, we can be honest, it did. And then I hit it in that May of whatever that was. I think 2009. I think that's what it was. I hit it in that May, 2009. This May, 2020, so maybe it was 2010, 2020, I will not have ever not hit Success Club. So it must have been 2010, because I think it'll be 10 years. So May 2010, I've already hit it for January. So I think that's month 118. 118. So when I hit it in May, because I will, because it's a non-negotiable, it'll be like 10 straight years of Success Club. And you're telling me you can't find 3 people every month? Really? Your warm market's not exhausted. Is the person across the street from you drinking Shakeology? Is your next door neighbor drinking Shakeology? Is every parent of your children's, your schoolmates, have you invited them? Are they drinking Shakeology or using the performance line or have bod or any and all of that? I love that we're expanding. I love that we've expanded into the UK. I love that we're expanding into France. But my neighbor across the street's still not drinking Shakeology. So remember when you start saying your warm market is exhausted, that is a story you are telling yourself that you are choosing to believe is true and likely is not. What you perceive, you project. Tell yourself a different story. If your market is older, awesome, because women in their 40s, we need health and fitness too, not just in our 20s. We need health and fitness too. Women in your 40s, you might be a mom in transition too, and now you need community as well, and you have time where you didn't have it before. And if you're in your 40s, you may even have a little extra income, more than you did in your 20s and 30s, to spend it on you. You also, if you're in your 40s, probably see the value of spending it on you. So there's a lot of pieces there that you can be marketing to that demo that need it just as much as someone who's 20. And if you're telling yourself that your market is exhausted, start telling yourself a different story, because that's not true. Because if this small town girl who had a cornfield in her backyard can somehow figure out how to find 3 new people every month, anybody can. Seriously, anybody can. It's just a matter of wanting to. How much do you want to? Do you understand that Success Club and connecting people with our solutions that work is the foundation of our business? When you understand that, then of course you find your 3 people and you stop telling yourself all the other stories why you cannot, and you start putting your energy towards finding those 3 people or more. 3, not 7 billion, although there are 7 billion in the world. So you can probably find 3 every month. If I can, you can. So that's my answer to that question. Stop telling yourself that BS story and start telling yourself one that will actually move you forward towards your goals. Because that story is holding you back. And that's a choice. Make a different one.
All right, Chelsea, come here. Or actually, she needs to come up here. She needs to be in the light. She needs to feel the heat. Okay, so question for Josie, that's what it says. How has your mom's success as a coach affected you and the Vloris family?
She went, okay.
So first off, I danced ballet for a long time, and if you guys don't know, ballet is very expensive. So when I was first doing ballet, we could only do 1 class a week, and that was like before Beachbody. Okay, really hate speaking up here, but that's fine.
No, you gotta use the mic. Okay. You don't have a good voice, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so then she started doing Beachbody, and I was able to then go to like $1,000 summer intensives. That would never been an option before. She could afford point shoes for me every week. Like, I would not be able to do ballet dancing without her. That was like, I don't know, like 8 years of that. Like, I would never have even had the option of going to a professional dance company. So after high school, went to a professional dance company and, had my life on track. And then, just kidding, had to have 4 surgeries. Well, good thing my mom is like killing Beachbody, because I didn't feel bad about having to have 4 surgeries or reroute my life because she could pay for it. Even though I knew she already spent a lot of money on ballet. Okay, so then she paid for surgeries, and then me being me, I wanted to go to a private New York City college. And college is very expensive, but my mom never said anything twice. She never looked at me twice. She never said maybe apply to a different school. She never said go to Butler because it'd be free. Nothing. She said anything I wanted to do that was following my dreams, following my passions, anything like that, I had the opportunity because of Beachbody. There was never 1 second that was like, maybe you need to do something smaller, or think smaller, or do something different. And that's been the same for all my sisters. I have 2 other sisters, so one did go to Butler, but she also had all the opportunities to go do anything else she wanted to outside. One's doing musical theater. That's very expensive too, and is going to a private New York City college too, and that was just never a second option. We've also been able to finally go on vacation anywhere we want. We went to Paris in the summer with Sean T, and because she's really cool and he got to take us and we got to go with her. And We went to visit him at Beachbody headquarters yesterday because she's really cool. So pretty much my whole life would I would literally be doing nothing without Beachbody.
Hold on, stay here. Keep the microphone. I need you to say something.
Don't say it.
Oh, shoot.
I'm just messing with you. Thank you, Josie. Thank you. I'm just messing with her. She did great, right, guys? Give her a hand.
So I'm glad that question was on there because I think a lot of, this is a female-dominant business. It just is what it is. And there is this is a made-up thing, this idea of mom guilt. We've made that up. Like, we've just fabricated it. Because did you ever hear any of your moms ever talk about mom guilt? I'd never heard that term till like the last, 15, 10 years. Like, we've made it up. And we've made it up in a way that holds us back from our own goals and dreams. But when you go after your goals and dreams, which probably as a mom involves your family, they get to do stuff that would never have happened without your goals and dreams. How many in here are moms of daughters? It's doubly important for you. It's doubly important. They have to see that you can choose as many roles and as many hats to wear that you want, and you can intentionally create the life that you want to create, because if you are not doing that, they don't see that as possible for them. You have to do it. Whatever your goals and dreams are, because that will teach them that their goals and dreams are important, and that maybe they can also, if they choose, be a mom and also build a business and whatever they choose to do. But if you are putting yourself on the back burner, that's what they'll do too. Your goals and dreams matter, because long before you were a wife and a mom, you were a human person that had goals and dreams. They don't go away when you get married, and they don't go away when you have children. My daughter's lives are completely different because of this business, but here's what's cool. This is where it gets really cool. Their lives are completely different because of this business. Their children's lives will also be completely different because of this business. Why? Because as humans, they are different. Because as a human, I am different and get to evolve every single day because of this business. So they do too, because they see that. That means their children's lives will be different, which means their children's lives will be different, which started with a conversation on a blue bench in a YMCA and then just continued. That's what we're doing every single day. That's the ripple effect that's happening every single day. Every time you press play and talk about it on social, every time you drink a shake and talk about it on social, every time you read a book and get a little bit smarter and a little bit better, every time you have a conversation with the coach, every time you invite someone, you are throwing another pebble into the pond that creates a ripple effect, and you have no idea how far that goes. My children's children will be different. I probably won't live to see it, but their lives will be different. Well, I will live to be 150 because Shakeology, and because I want to make sure I'm around to drive them crazy. But what you're doing every single day, these teeny tiny little moments, it's legacy that you're creating. You think it's small stuff, and it is, but the big stuff we do as coaches happens in those teeny tiny little moments. And if you are holding yourself back because of mom guilt, which we've made up, that's a fabricated thing, that's not even real. If you're holding yourself back because of that, you're also holding your children back. Because if I hadn't done those coach calls or showed up to those live events or read the PD or drank the awful Shakeology when it used to be awful or did the workouts, all of that kind of stuff, she wouldn't have been dancing. Jenna wouldn't have done what she did. Jessie wouldn't do what she does. No one would be doing anything. And it was funny when we were at Beachbody headquarters yesterday, and then we went up to Sundance and had lunch. It was beautiful. And, we're watching the skiers and stuff, and I'm like, I'm at Sundance on a Thursday afternoon because I said yes to an opportunity 11 and a half years ago that I had no idea what I was doing, and now I'm at Sundance in Utah on a random Thursday afternoon with my daughter. Next week I go to New York with my youngest. Because I can. And so can you, if you make the choice. Get rid of the mom guilt. Get rid of the guilt. Get rid of the guilt. There's nothing to be guilty about. Everything you're doing in this business is creating a better life for you and for your family, and for family that you don't even know yet. How freaking cool is that? It's amazing. That's what we get to do. We can do it in our pajamas if we want to. It's amazing. That's amazing. That's what you do every single day.
All right, so last question, then we're gonna break down the chairs and you're gonna kick all of our booties in a workout, right?
Yes, I am.
It's still half,
I acknowledge that.
half full. So, same question I asked the coaches in that Facebook page, I'm gonna ask you. And you've taught a lot about that, but how has being a part of this community changed your life?
You get that question on the National Wake Up Call, and you speak on the National Wake Up Call, and Jeff Hill used to always go, and how has Beachbody changed your life? And I remember thinking, how do you even answer that? Because it's almost like I can't remember life before Beachbody. My girls call it the dark ages. Literally, that's what we call it in our family, the dark ages. Life before Beachbody. Because everything we do in this business is designed to make us a better human being on this planet. Really, everything we do. Can you imagine how much better this world would be if we all actually embraced and acknowledged our own potential, lived into our potential, and shared that energy with everybody else? And we get to do that every single day. We have the opportunity to do that every single day. We hold ourselves back from it, but we get the opportunity to do that every single day. And, you know, my life has so exponentially changed because of a workout, a shake, a book, and a community. None of it's magic, but together it is. Individually, it's not. Together it is. And every time we do those small little actions, we make those choices, we have the chance to change our life. In all these ways, you know, Josie referenced going to Paris. Like, what? How did that even happen? Because I said yes to an opportunity about which I knew nothing and figured it out along the way. How was I at Sundance yesterday having lunch? Because I said yes to an opportunity about which I knew nothing and figured it out along the way. You know more than you think you do. Give yourself more credit for that. And just keep showing up. The world, I mean, it feels big, but the world needs us to show up. Needs our energy, it needs our light. So what's Beachbody done for me? It's completely changed my life, but it's also given me a front row seat to watch others do the same. And that might be the coolest part of all.
All right, Salt Lake, give it up for Julie Vloris one more time.